Well, the Office of the Leader of Opposition, together with stakeholders, have held a 2 days workshop discussing the alternative budget priorities for the budget of the financial 2023-2024. With me is Honorable Francis Katabazi Katongole, the Shadow Minister of the East African Affairs, is going to be telling us more of what they're seeing as the funding priorities for this budget. You're most welcome.
Thank you, and thank you for having me, Smart TV. You see, in Uganda at the moment, what we use to fund the budget is mainly the tax revenue. Of course, the non-tax revenue is shrinking day by day. And then we have both internal and external borrowing. Now, borrowing is not very good when you are going to do, if you want a country to progress very well. But you find that the debt, this current regime, the debt of Uganda is increasing day by day. In fact, if we were to distribute equally, every Ugandan at the moment, even those who are still in the wombs of their mothers, are supposed to pay about 2 million if we are to pay the debt, to clear the debt burden Uganda has. A progressive tax system, that one is a system which allows people to earn more so that they can pay more. And then a regressive tax system is one that I would say you are trying to squeeze stones to get juice. You are putting the tax burden is so harsh on the taxpayer. That's what I can interpret for the person, the normal, the easy understanding. So the Uganda tax regime is basically regressive. Regressive, you are milking a cow that you are not feeding. Let me say that. I think that's the best way I can put it. Many businesses are closing, but every department or every industry is dying out, including the major ones like the agriculture sector. Agriculture sector would be doing fantastic, but you look at somebody buys, let's say, maize seeds at 12,000 a kilo, and then when he plants those seeds, he's going to sell the maize at 500 or 1,000. So you see, that is a vicious circle of poverty somebody will be dreaming in, swimming in. So we are saying, I think we could make the seeds more affordable by encouraging the organic seeds that also yield high. I asked that the Minister of Agriculture. So there are so many ways we can improve. And also natural resource management. This is where most money is eaten or stolen. These natural resources belong to the entire community in Uganda. God gave us these natural resources. For example, the lakes. We have Lake Victoria. There is one item that is very expensive from the lakes, leave alone the fish fillet and so on, but there is something called the fish maul from the Nile perch. It is only in Uganda and Lake Victoria. So that one, if they get an ordinary Ugandan with it, you'll be as good as dead. I'm telling you, you rather kill a person than having the fish maul. So now that one goes, there is only one person who is licensed to deal in that, because it is very marketable. A kilo is 3 million shillings locally. On the international scene, it is $7,000. That is about 28 million shillings. 1 kilo like this. So just imagine that distributed to all the people at the fish sites and so on. The fishmongers would be richer, but they are being chased out by the army. They are being beaten. Men have been. I have a port, a landing site, Kamunga here near Lukaya. Many people have been killed. They've dived into the water running away from the army. So we find this very outrageous. So the natural resources have been donated to individuals. The gold, we put in money in the processing and the mining of, in the minerals industry, minerals ministry, but there is no indication in Kasaija's all the Minister of Finance's indication, either in tax revenue or non-tax revenue, because this one has to provide both. The person mining and improving the quality of gold to the level of international market. We have one of the best where they add value so that it reaches international level. We would have to, because this gold belongs to all of Ugandans, but they donate it to one person. And mind you, the gold we have in Uganda is worth $13.8 trillion. Now, $13.8 trillion is almost 8 times the GDP of Africa. Because the GDP of Africa is only like, I think, $1.5 trillion. Now, you can imagine Uganda would be better. I've been in South Africa and I said, oh, we have more gold than these guys. But look at where we are, the quality of roads. Me as Minister of East Africa, that's why I have a dream to say that, oh, at least the road network would be improved. These people always, their problem is that we don't have money, we don't have money. I can tell you this country is very rich. But we only have one problem, that we have people who are very greedy. I wish there was a stronger word than being greedy. They are gluttons, I would say. Gluttons.
As opposition members, you decided to have a human and a program-based approach.
Yeah.
As Minister of East African Affairs, how is that going to help in building East African integration?
I have a dream of seeing Africa connected, first of all, as I told, with dual carriage roads. Dual carriage, that's where the vehicles from the other side don't meet with this one. This will stop or will reduce, actually will stop the head-on collisions. Most of the accidents are normally head-on. The vehicle coming from the other side, and we've lost so many lives, including recently one of our own a member of parliament, Bishop Okabe, just died recently with a wife. The family perished. Such a very fantastic resource to this nation. We lost it because of poor roads. So that is one of the things. Then another, rail network. We should have a connecting railway network. Kenya, Tanzania are way ahead of us because of good leadership. The late John Pombe Magufuli moved Tanzania 100 years ahead of where it is today. You get it? He moved them ahead. Why? Because they utilize the resources available, the natural resources, just by increasing the share from the minerals. Just that. And I think he got only something like $200 billion, and he was able to fix all the railway, and there was no money stolen. Because you see, we have so many leakages in the system, and the auditors general said, I think 10 trillion shillings per financial year gets lost to just corruption. It is unaccounted for. This is the kind of country we are running in. 10 trillion out of the 48 in budget. And mind you, we are able to collect only 25. We are supposed 20 something trillion out of the 40. The rest we are borrowing. So our dream as the opposition, we want to see that our country, Uganda, respects the protocols. And we also want other countries to do the same, so that we don't have issues whereby some of us, we are very lenient to some people, and then they are not lenient to us. Ugandans, we are naturally nice people, and we are very welcoming. But again, some countries have we found out that at the moment, some of them are not behaving well. They are very harsh to our people when they go there. For example, South Sudan, so many people have been killed there. Traders and other countries. I will not mention all the countries, but that's what I can say. We need to respect the protocols, free goods of services and people, and also labor. Like Uganda has so many human rights issues. They will be reluctant to fund it because Uganda will be taken to that court. So we need to think outside the box, that this should give us, promote peace amongst East Africans. Of course, definitely we also plan to put an e-resource, electronic resource for connectivity. After connecting physically, like we've told, the physical infrastructure, you can board a train to Kinshasa. You'll spend less time. Or you drive to Mombasa or to Bujumbura without any much restriction. These super highways will do a lot.
There's still a problem of public awareness among the countries of the East African community. How are we going to establish that?
Okay, the problem in Uganda right now, the best way of communicating is social media, is electronic media. Everyone has a phone. You see, nowadays, something happens in Kampala. In 10 minutes, the whole country knows. But how do you ban social media? In Uganda, they ban in our government definitely would have lifted the ban on use of social media because it helps doing business. These people only use it to suppress the opposition so that they do not expose them. Because social media, when you beat someone, somebody will film that and they sends. So that's what they fear. But actually, I can want to sell this phone. I just take a picture, I give the specifications, and stay here. I get like 10 people. If the market is only Kampala wanting. But if it is across the whole of Africa, my friend, you'll have like 100 orders, and that will expand business. You'll earn more money very fast. So when we use the e-resource or the electronic resource, we would be better off in sensitizing. But now we have to use the analog style of face-to-face, whereby, of course, you can also use that, like summits. You cannot conduct a summit on, I know, Zoom, but it may not be that effective. Of the different stakeholders, we come and brainstorm for our region, depending on where you have advantage, comparative advantage, so that we can improve and increase our economies of scale. We can enjoy the benefits of bulking to enjoy economies of scale.
Lastly, Honorable Minister, where are you going to get these funds to facilitate all these priorities you've stated?
I've already told you, proper management. The late Mwai Kibaki, former president of Kenya, he widened the tax base. He improved the Kenyan economy 100 times almost by just widening the tax base, putting a tax regime that is not regressive in nature, as I told you. Supporting production. Because, like, for example, how do you say agriculture is the backbone of this economy, but you are giving it only 4% of the GDP? The Maputo Declaration in 2003 said at least the budget should have 10%. Okay? They are giving very little, normally 2%, to the budget to support agriculture.
Well, that has been the interaction with the East African Community Affairs Shadow Minister, Honorable Francis Katabazi Katongole. He has been discussing and breaking down, in a nutshell, everything that has happened in this 2 days workshop of the members of opposition, together with stakeholders, in terms of alternative budget priorities when you're allocating resources for our financial year 2023-2024.